Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Today we're continuing this beautiful chapter of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Thank you for joining. We'll continue chapter 10 today. Adhikanda, part 2, chapter 10. And before that, we've read in chapter, the first chapter 9 about Nityananda Prabhu's pastime when he was, young, and when he grew up, he left home. A renunciate came to take him away. That's what we learn. And then wherever he visited, and then how he met Lakshmipati, and then also, the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is almost his god brother. And in this way, now we are going into another chapter that we started last week, entitled, the marriage of Lakshmi to Lakshmi Priya. Actually, we know that before we learn about Nityananda Prabhu's young, when he was young, his pastime, we knew how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai was growing up. He was very naughty, and then also, and how he was showing that he's very, very smart, and how he was contradicting everybody. And this continues in this chapter as well. And we learned last week that how he was trying to defeat Murari Gupta, and then he was also making some joke with others, saying that, those who does not learn under him or study independently of him, they are doomed in a way. Because this also we learn that everybody has to learn under the guidance of a spiritual master. That's what he was learning. And he said that many people, they know, learning grammar is something, but understanding it is a different thing. And he was saying that some people don't even know how to connect these words. Yeah, how people
একটু পেন্সিল দেবেন না আমাকে?
Okay. Yeah, how people, when they study, because they become good in study, they think that when they take a book, any book, they will be able to digest it. Okay, some literature we can do that. Let's say mundane literature, we can read a very nice pastime and I can repeat it to somebody. But reading a spiritual book, especially Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other, sacred book, it's not about just learning how to read and write and then explain it. It's about the bhav, the bhakti that somebody got. Like we've learned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Kaviraj Goswami, he said that Krishna has came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like a devotee to teach us how to, as if take our hand to write ABCD, because he has experience, just like Srila Prabhupada had the experience of bhakti, then he can give bhakti. It's not about just learning, the theory of Bhagavad Gita and then just come and explain it to us. We understood also there was more than 200 translation of Bhagavad Gita, and how many has made so much impact compared to Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada is not only a person, he's a person that have as we say, we know in Bhagavad, in Srimad Bhagavatam, a Bhagavata devotee. He's carrying Vrindavan in his heart. He's carrying Srimad Bhagavatam in his heart. This is why he can give it to others. That's what the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai Pandit was saying, that we should study under the guidance of a guru or experienced devotee. Now we will move also. Then we saw that Murari Gupta at one point in time, when the debate was going on, but Murari Gupta also was very, very learned, because he's an incarnation, we know here as Lord Shankar. That means Shiva. And also we know he's Hanuman. Last time we spoke that Hanuman and Lord Shiva are the same. And the challenge was very, very fierce. And then at one point in time, we will read, I think we'll go through this now, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will touch him. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would touch him, then that what happened? He felt that like ecstasy of bliss. Anyway, this is where we left last time. We'll continue from text 31 on page 86. Anybody who want to read? Probably you want to share the screen. I don't know if you have it.
Yeah, I can share the screen, Prabhu.
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay, yes, it's page 86, text 31.
Thank you, Prabhu. Santose Dilana Tandra Ange Padma Hasta Murarira Deha Haila Ananda Samasta. In satisfaction, the Lord touched Murari's body with his lotus hand, and Murari became filled with ecstasy. Chintaye Murari Gupta Apana Hridaye Prakrita Manushya Kabhu E Purusha Nahe. Murari Gupta thought, he is certainly not an ordinary person. The words Prakrita Manushya refers to conditioned soul who are under the control of Maya or material nature. Emana Panditya Kiva Manushraya Aya Hasta Pashre Deha Haila Parananda Maya. Can an ordinary human being possess such knowledge? Just by his touch, my body was filled with ecstasy. Chintile ihana stane kichula janai Hemata subudhi sarva navadvipanai Santoshita haya bolena vaidyavara Chintiba tomara stane suna vishvambara. Why should I be embarrassed to study under him? In all of Navadvip, there is no one more intelligent than him. Feeling satisfied in this way, the great doctor said, listen, Vishvambara, from now on, I will study under you. The word Chintile means to practice one's lesson, while Chintiba means I will practice my lessons. Takrure Sheva ke hena mate kari range Ganga snane chali lena laya sabasange. After this pleasing exchange between the Lord and his servant Nimai and his friends went to take bath in the Ganges. Ganga snana kariya chalila prabhu gare mata vidya rasa ishvara vihare. After finishing this bath, the Lord went home. Thus the Supreme Lord enjoyed the life of a student. Mukunda Sanjaya Bada Mahabhagyavan Yanhara Alaya Vidya Vilasera Sthana. The Lord opened his school at the house of the most fortunate Mukunda Sanjaya. Mukunda Sanjaya was a resident of Sri Navadvipa and the father of Purushottama Sanjaya. In the vast Chandi Mandapa of his house, Nimai Pandita taught grammar and similar subjects to him, his son, and various other students. In this regard, one may see Adi Kanda, chapter 12, verse 72 and 91, chapter 15, verse 5 to 7, 22 and 23, and 70 to 71, and Madhya Kanda, chapter 1, verses 127 to 130. Tahana Putrera Prabhu Apane Padaya Tanhara ho Tanra Prati Bhakti Sharvataya. His son Purushottama Sanjaya became the Lord's student. He also had great devotion for the Lord. Bada Chandi Mandaba Achaya Tanagare Chaturdikhe Vitsara Paduya Tanhi Dare. There was a large Chandi Mandapa in the courtyard of his house. That hall had the capacity to hold many students. The word Chandi Mandapa refers to a hall within the courtyard of the Hindu householder wherein worship and recitation of prayers to Chandi or Durga is performed. It is also called Devi Graha, the house of the goddess, or Thakura Dalana, the hall of the gods. This place is generally offered to guests for their sitting.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, okay.
You want to say anything?
Yeah, Prabhu. The main important point is Murari Gupta is feeling that convinced that he has to learn under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he's having students also. Prabhu, I'm not very getting the flow of it more than that, Prabhu.
Yeah. Now he's starting his own school. I mean, now it's another phase. He's starting his own school at this place.
Yes, he's
Vallabhacharya.
to someone, a wealthy person, where he has a big hall where a lot of students can be accommodated.
Yes. Thank you. Anybody else want to say anything or to continue?
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Okay, I can read. Okay. Gosti kare tanhai padana vijaraja sestane gorangera vidyahara samaja. Lord Goranga, the king of the Brahmanas, used to divide his students in groups and teach them in that hall. Kata rupe vyaka kare kata kandana adhyapaka prati se aksepa sarvakshnana. Nimai would give various explanations and refutations as he continually derided the other teachers. The word aksepa, found in Alankara Sastra, means chastisement, condemnation, pollution, and pointing out one's fault. Prabhu kahe sandhi karya jnana nahi dara. Kali yuge bhattacharya padavitahara. The Lord said, in the age of Kali, one who doesn't even know the rules of conjunctions is still given the title of Bhattacharya. Accepting the title of Bhattacharya, a learned scholar of the Srutis, Nyaya and Mimamsa, without going through the primary lessons of the Sandhi or joining words as found in children's grammar, is irrational, the basis of irreligiosity, and possible only in Kali Yuga. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.38 as follows. Dharman vyaksantid adharma nya adiru yottamasamassanam. Those who know nothing about religion will mount a high seat and presume to speak on religious principles. Hena jana dekhi panki baluka amara tabe jani bata misa padavi sabara. Let me refute my explanations. Then I will accept them as actual Bhattacharyas and Mishras. Ye mata vaikunta nayaka vidya rase krida kare chinite na pare konada se. In this way, the Lord of Vaikunta sportingly enjoyed his life as a scholar, yet none of his servants could recognize him. Kichu matrak dekhi ai putrera yavana vivahera karya mane chinte anukshana. When Mother Sachi saw her son's first symptoms of maturity, she began to make plans for his marriage. Senavadvipe vyase eka subramana Vallabha Acharya Nama Janakera Sama. There was a qualified Brahmana residing in Navadvip named Vallabhacharya. who was equal to Janaka Maharaj. In the Gora Gona Dipika, it is stated, Janaka, the great king of Mithila, has now appeared as Vallabhacharya. He is also accepted as Bhishmaka, the father of Rukmini, Sri Janki, Rukmini, and Lakshmi Devi. And Lakshmi were all his daughters. Tana Kanya Ached Yena Lakshmi Murti Mati Niravadi Vipratanra Chinte Yogya Pati. He had a daughter who appeared to be the personification of Lakshmi. That Brahmana was constantly searching for a qualified husband for her. Dvaye Lakshmi Ekadina Gela Ganga Snane Gora Chandra Henai Samyaya Sekhane. By providence, one day when Lakshmi went to take bath in the Ganges, Gora Chandra was there at the same time. Nija Lakshmi Chineya Asila Gora Chandra Lakshmi Ovadila Mane Prabhupada Dwanda. Gora Chandra smiled when he recognized his beloved Lakshmi, and Lakshmi mentally offered her obeisances to the Lord lotus feet. Haribo.
Very well. Okay, so anything to add?
Only thing was this continuation of the Lord's pastimes, but one of the important things was that in the age of Kali, everything is going to get nonsense. Even teaching, people will people will be called Brahmanas just in names only, because they won't have the right qualifications, or people won't be educated right enough. Everything is going to get deteriorated. So we're getting Lord Chaitanya saying that, and even the Srimad Bhagavatam, it said what's going to happen in Kali.
Yes, please.
That's all I have to say.
Yes, thank you. And we saw also that now we're getting into the pastime of the how Nimai will meet Lakshmi Priya, and now you have to meditate and picturize, just like what you're watching a film, how Nimai went to the Ganges to he made a lot of pastime in the Ganges. Now this also is a place where they will meet each other. Of course, meeting, say, eyes contact, and this is where everything starts. And then we will see how the arrangement is being done, how Mother Sachi will refuse, and how Nimai himself will in a way say it's positive. He does not say that he like it, but he say why you did that and that and that and that. Okay, now it's for us to discover. But what I'm trying to tell you is just meditate and just see how, and like you're watching a film in your mind, how this is happening. It's so beautiful, and how Vrindavan Thakur write all this in very simple language and very sweet, and just relish whoever is reading. Try to read in a, I'm not saying a poetic way, so that people we can picturize it. Okay, now we start with this very sweet pastime, how they will meet each other. Okay, let's start. Who will read next?
I can read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hey, 51, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
Hey na mate, doni chini, doni gare gela, ke bhi jute para, gorangera khela. After recognize each other in this way, they both return to their home. Who can understand the pastime of Lord Gaurasundara? Iswara ichhaya vipra vanamali nama sei dina gela teho sachi devi sthana. By the Lord's will, that every day a Brahmana named Vanmali went to the house of Mother Sachi. Namaskari Are Vasila Diva Dvija Vara Asthana Delina Ai Kariye Adhara. That respectful Brahmans offered Mother Sachi his obeisances, and she respectfully offered him his seat. अरे बोले ना तबे वनमाली आचार्य पुत्र विवाहारे केना न चिंता करेया. Vanamali Acharya then asked Sachi, why aren't you thinking about arranging your son's marriage? Vanamali Ghataka is described in Gaura Gona Desa Deepika _9 as follows. The matchmaker Sri Vishwamitra, who arranged the marriage of Sri Ramchandra and who was the Brahmana messenger that Rukmini sent to Kesav, has now appeared as Vanmali Acharya. Vallabhaya Acharya Kule Se Sadachare Niredosa Vyasena Navadvipera Bhitare. Vallabhacharya, a resident of Navadvip, is from an exalted family. He is pure, well-behaved, and decorated with many good qualities. Tena Kanaya Lakshmi Priya Rupi Sei Mane Sei Sambandha Kare Yadi Icha Hai Mane. His daughter's beautiful qualities and temperament are as good as those of Lakshmi. I will arrange your son's marriage with her if you wish. Ei bole pitrahina balaka amara jiuka paduka age tave karya ara. Mother Sachi replied, my son is fatherless. Leave him alone to study for some time. After I will consider. Aira kathaya viprar rasa na paiya chale na vipra kichu dukhita haiya. The Brahman was not satisfied with Sachi's answer and therefore left disappointed. It is stated by Hemachandra. The word rasa referred to water. It meant the 5 superior rasas such as Sringar, the 7 inferior rasas such as Vira, as well as the poison of creature like snake. The sentiments by which one's heart melts. Raga tunes the art of painting. The constituent of body, the 6 tastes such as bitter and mercury. According to the mundane Alankara rasa, when the happiness of the mind, asthai bhava, or placement stasi, or rati, is nourished by ingredients such as vibhasa or a special ecstasy. It produced an indescribable ecstasy transformation called rasa. Rasa are of 9 varieties: Sringar or Adi, Vira, Karuna, compassion, Adi Bhuta, wonder, Hasya, laughter, and Bhayankara, fear. Bibhastha, Rudra, and Santa. According to another opinion, there are 10 varieties. The above plus Vatsalya or parenthood. One should also consider the meaning of the heart's desire, the confidential meaning of purport, happiness, ecstasy, or loving sentiments, as well as the word rasa in the word savara or savarasya, which refers to the intimation of or desire. According to the transcendental Alankara Shastra, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Vidya. Do you want me to read, Prabhu, this part?
It's okay. You can skip the Sanskrit. Just read the English.
Thank you, Prabhu. That which is beyond imagination, heavy with wonder, the realist in the heart, illuminated with goddess, such as known as Rasa. Satvi Bhavi Tarasa Pokta Sri Krishna Vyasa Rathi. Continuous ecstatic love of Krishna is called permanent ecstasy. Mother Sachi neglected or ignored the proposal of Nimai marriage suggested by the rest of the matchmaker Vanmali Acharya and changed the topic of conversation. Therefore, Vanmali did not get any rasa from Sachi words. Rather, he prescribed an absence of rasa or dry santa rasa, that is reserved and indifferent, unchangeable mood. That is why the ordinary Alankara lecture dry santa rasa is not actually accepted as rasa, because it is devoid of the reciprocation of feeling as stated. Samasya nirvikrantam, but I don't know. Due to the unchanging nature of samabhava, learned persons do not accept it as a rasa. Deve pathe dekha hela Gaura Chandra sange tare dekhi eli nagna kaila prabhu range. As he left, by providence, he met Gaurachandra, who happily embraced him. Prabhu bole kaha jaiche kona bhi te dvija bole tumara jani sambhaste. The Lord inquired, tell me, where have you been? The Brahman replied, I was speaking with your mother. Hari Bol.
Very good. Thank you. Anything you want to share?
Prabhu, you go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay. Now we saw that how Vanamali is actually the matchmaker, even in the Ram pastime, as Vishwamitra, and also the one who came as a messenger in the proposing Rukmini sending the letter to Krishna. Actually, you see, we spoke about this several times, that in the pastime of in Gora Lila, that means many personalities in different yuga, and in Krishna Lila, in Ram Lila, they all appear, and in Kali Yuga actually. That means how merciful is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bring all this personality in Kali Yuga, like 500 years ago. That means 500 years ago is not long ago. That means this place of Navadvip is as good as, Goloka Vrindavan. And also we spoke about this a little bit last week, that those who make the difference, that there's a difference between Vrindavan and Navadvip, actually are not is not very good for them. Actually, we as devotees and follower of the Gaudiya line, we should understand this very, I'm not saying like we should be, in a way, we should be very careful how we judge. Like, it's okay, Vrindavan is above Navadvip. This is a big mistake. We should not do that. And all these personalities also, You know, of course, in this pastime, they all came in male body because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyas, and also, of course, some came in female body like Advaita Acharya's, such the wife of Advaita Acharya and Sachi Mahata and all that. But the main personalities that came in male body, like Vishaka, Lalita, Ramananda Rai, as we know, came. And then also, they all came in a male body to have this close association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then in the text 58, we saw that it goes a bit into the sthai bhav and all that. We won't go into this. Actually, there are different stasi and rasa combined, and some they are permanent, some they are just like an addition to make it become better, to feel better. For example, somebody is in love like Krishna and Radha, they like each other, but sometimes they fight. And in this man, they call man, in this rasa, that means the anger that Radha is having, actually it is increasing the love of Krishna. It is increasing the rasa in the relationship. That means sometimes we can say how anger can combine with love to make it more static. This is a quick example. And then there are other examples also. You talk about art and all that. All this is mixed. It increases the flavor of the relationship. Okay, we'll continue now. Somebody else want to continue?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you. प्रभु बोले कहा किया छिले को न बीते, द्विज बोले तुम्हारा जननी संभासीते. The Lord inquired, tell me, where have you been? The Brahmana replied, I was speaking with your mother. तुम्हारा विवाह लागी बालीला न ताने, ना जानी सुनिया श्रद्धा ना कैले ना केने. I offered her a proposal for your marriage, but for some reason I don't understand, she refused. सुनीताना वचन ईश्वरा मौना हैला, हासितारे संभासिया मंदिरे आईला. Hearing his words, Nimai remained silent for a moment. He then smiled and spoke a little more with the Brahmana before returning to his house. जननी रे हासिया बोले न सैक्षने, आचार्य संभासेना कैले बाला केने. When the Lord got home, he asked his mother, why did you respect the Brahmana's why did not you respect the Brahmana's proposal? Putrera ingita pai sachi har sita, aradine vipre ani kahilena katha. Mother Sachi was pleased to receive an indication from her son. The next day she called the Brahmana to her home. Sachi bole viprakaali ye kahila tumi, sigra tatha karaha kini kahinu e ami. Sachi said, O Brahmana, I have decided that you may immediately arrange what you proposed yesterday. Aira charana dulilaya Brahmana seikshane chalilena vallabha bhavana. The Brahmana took the dust from Mother Sachi's feet and immediately left for the house of Vallabhacharya. Vallabha Acharya dekhi sambharame thane, bahumana kari vasilena asane. On seeing the Brahmana, Vallabha offered him a seat with great respect. Acharya bole na suna amara vachana, kanya vivahera eva karusu lagana. Vanmali Acharya said, please hear me. Choose an auspicious day for the marriage of your daughter. The word Su Lagan means an auspicious time. The portion of the zodiac that appears on the eastern horizon at a particular time is called the Uday Lagan, or rising sign. Since the zodiac is divided into 12, each part is known as a Lagna. Mishra Purandara Putra Nama Viswambhara Parama Pandita Sarva Gunera Sangha Sagar. The son of Jagannath Mishra, Sri Viswambhara, is highly learned and an ocean of good qualities. तोमारा कन्यारा योग्य से महोसया Kahilana e kara yadi chittelaya. This great personality is the proper match for your daughter. Now you decide what you would like to do. That Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. You want to share something?
Yeah, so now the Viswambar, he asked the mother, why you refused the proposal. And now mother is like, Sachi Mata is agreed to marry Lakshmi Priya with the Viswambar, and then Ramana was very happy, and then he went again to Vallabhacharya and asked, we can arrange this marriage.
Yes. How fortunate is Vallabhacharya?
Yes.
Just for a second, just imagine that
Mhm.
you have a daughter,
Yeah.
and then you get a proposal that God will become your son-in-law.
Yeah. Very sweet.
What will you feel?
Yeah. We feel very happy.
Yes, this is the greatest thing
Yeah.
that someone can expect as well. Of course, we're not there, but you are not deprived of thinking about it. You can think about it. It does not mean that we're not qualified, but you can still think about it and put you in the shoes and just have a feeling how this would be sweet. Actually, I will just share something quickly with you. Actually, one time we went to Pomona Temple in New York, and there is a like a Sri Rangam temple in a miniature there, a replica, and there they do the marriage of Lord Venkateshwara with of course with Lakshmi, and for when we were there, and we had the opportunity to be the mother and father of of Lakshmi in a way, to be the mother, and then the marriage ceremony is done like a real marriage, you won't believe. And then at the end of the marriage, we get a big laddu like this. I'm not joking, about this size.
Mhm.
It's a big laddu, and it was very, very fulfilling, this feeling of to be the mother and father in the marriage of the Lord. It was very, very nice. Also, this same thing happened on when there is Tulsi Saligram Shila Viva, on the last day of Bhishma Panchaka and last day of Kartik month. There is a wedding ceremony that some temples do as a real wedding ceremony. That means Saligram has a parent, and then Tulsi Maharani also has parent. And then, they offer their daughter to Saligram, and then the parent conduct the wedding ceremony, like a real wedding. Everybody dress come as if we are going to a real wedding. And this happened in our tradition. It's not something that we just talk about it. It's something that we do, we practice, and the feeling of being a parent of the Lord, both ways, is very, very gratifying and fulfilling in a way. And okay, I just wanted to share this with you. And let's continue. Somebody else?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Mishra Purandara Putra Nama Vishwambhara Parama Pandita Sarva Gunera Sagara. The son of Jagannath Mishra, Sri Vishwambhara is highly learned and an ocean of good qualities. Tomara Kanyara Yogya Se Mahashaya kahilane ikara yadi chitalaye. This great personality is the proper match for our daughter. Now you decide what you would like to do. Shunya Vallabhacharya bole na haresha sahane kanyare pati mile bhagyavasha. Vallabhacharya joyfully replied, such a husband for my daughter is achieved with by great fortune. Krishna yadi suprasana haina amare अथवा कमाले गौरी संतुष्ट कन्यारे तबे से हेन असी मिले बेज माता अवलंबे तुमी इह करह सर्वथा. 1 second. If Krishna is pleased with me and Lakshmi and Parvati are pleased with my daughter, then I will bless with such a husband for my daughter. You may arrange everything without delay. Sabe eka vancha bahi balite lajja pai ami se nirdhana kinchu dite sakti nai. But I have one request that I am embarrassed to disclose. I am poor and have no means to offer a dowry. Kanya matra dive pancha hari taki diya sabe I ajna tumai anibe mai magiya. I can offer only 5 haritaki myrobalan fruits along with my daughter. Please beg their consent. Vallabha Mishra Vakya Suniya Acharya Santoshe Ali Siddhi Kari Sarva Karya. Hearing the words of Vallabha Mishra, Vanamali Acharya happily completed the formalities. Siddhi Katha Ashya Kahali Ai Sthane Safala Hile Karya Kara Subha Sene. He then returned to Mother Sachi's house and informed Mother Sachi, the formalities have been completed. Now you may choose an auspicious time for the ceremony. Apta loke suni sabe harashite haela sabai udyoga asi krite lagila. When the Lord's relatives heard the news, they joyfully began to make arrangements. Adhivasa lagna karilena subhadina nritya gita nana vidya vayanata gana. On an auspicious day, they held the Adivasa ceremony, during which people danced and sang while musicians played various instruments. The ritual, in which sandalwood pulp and flower garlands are offered the day before an auspicious ceremony, is called Adivasa. Chaturdike divya gana kare vede dhvani madhay chandra sama vasilena divyamani. All around the Brahmanas recited Vedic hymns as Namai, the jewel of twice born, appeared like the moon in their midst. While performing the ritualistic ceremonies and purificatory rites prescribed in the Graha Sutras, Vedic mantras were recited. Udvaha, or the marriage ceremony, is one of the 48, 16, or 10 samskaras. Ishware
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Gandhamalya. Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
yes,
Prabhu.
yes. What you want to share?
The only thing I remember is the mentioning of dowry. I was reading, I'm on Bhagavad Gita 9th canto. Somewhere I read the same word dowry. I guess the word, I don't know, is they expressing with the word dowry, or was it really the dowry still in that ages? I mean, we still say gift as a gift, but it's an expected gift, then it's a dowry. And it was still, at that time, they were saying that it was dowry system in existence. I was going to ask you, and I was reading Bhagavad Gita, not Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, 9th canto. They mentioned dowry somewhere, so I marked the page and I said, I'm going to ask Haranga Prabhu. And here it is in front of me again. So I guess this is not a new concept.
Yeah, dowry was always a, even Kanyadan. Kanyadan is you're giving your daughter as a dan. Okay, and then also like a gift you send with your daughter. For example, it's not about the dowry that we know today. And you will normally dowry in the past also we've seen in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. Like, even in the pastime of Ram, when Sita came, they sent a lot of things. They are sent with pleasure. You're giving a gift to your daughter that is going to live in a new place for her comfort, for her pleasure, because they even send servant with for example with Sita Devi. It's not as today we know about dowry. Dowry today is like a big business, unfortunately. People ask for cars, for house, for refrigerator, for furniture, and it's a you ask, is it especially they ask, if you don't have it, then it doesn't happen. This is not dowry. The concept of dowry has been, unfortunately, in Kali Yuga has been completely materialized. That means it's a business. If you cannot give that and that and that and that, that means your daughter will not get married. Then is this really love marriage? Is this what we call love? Or is it I'm marrying somebody only to get some fortune out of this girl family? And we know in India nowadays, many girls are not married because of dowry problem. And then we also know that some family, they don't like to have girls. I've heard even some will kill the girl because the girl is a burden, and the family have to look for dowry.
That is true.
I mean, we have to be careful about that. And about dowry, anyway, the way it is today is completely distorted.
True, Prabhuji, but the way it was mentioned here is just as if she is embarrassed to be poor, and the fact that she has no means to offer a gift, as if it is an expected, I don't know, ritual, I guess, and so then it becomes a burden for me. I think if
So it
if
depends
it's
how
my
you read it. But you see, then even though he when I'm saying he, that means Nimai Pandit, he got 5 fruits. There was no question of refusing the marriage. That means the marriage was done, will be done or done. That means the significance of the dowry does not matter.
okay, Prabhu. Understood.
Like nowadays, if you don't have the dowry, then it's a no-go.
True, if you don't have a dowry, or if you don't have what they are expecting from you, I guess, because whatever I have is not up to the mark to the other side, then it's not good enough.
Yeah. Okay. Let me how do you stop the live streaming?